You are not learning as fast as you should be. And the frustrating part is that it is not because you are not trying. You read, you watch, you take notes, and somehow most of it disappears within days, leaving you feeling like you are running on a treadmill that never actually moves. But here is what nobody in the learning space is telling you. One of the fastest learners on the planet is not a human, it is a bird. And what science has discovered about how crows learn will completely change the way you approach everything you are trying to absorb and master. The crow does not have the largest brain in the animal kingdom, but it has something far more interesting. A brain-to-body ratio that rivals the great apes, and a learning system so sophisticated that scientists now consider crows among the most intelligent creatures ever studied. What makes them extraordinary is not raw intelligence. It is how they learn. Crows observe before they act. They practice deliberately. They remember everything permanently. They adapt what they know to completely new situations. And most remarkably, they teach other crows what they have figured out. One crow in Japan was documented learning to use traffic lights to crack nuts, placing them in front of cars at red lights, and collecting them safely when the light turned green. It then taught this behavior to other crows in the area. That is not instinct. That is a complete learning system. And it is exactly what most humans are missing. So here is what that learning system actually looks like. And more importantly, here is how you can start using it today. Principle 1. Observe first, act second. Before a crow attempts anything new, it watches. It sits at a distance and studies what is happening with complete attention before it commits to a single action. Whether it is assessing a new food source, figuring out how a container opens, or watching how humans interact with an object, the observation always comes before the attempt. It never rushes in blind. The watching is part of the work. Neuroscience has shown that the brain encodes new information significantly more effectively when it first observes the full context of what it is about to learn before attempting to perform it. This is called observational learning, and it activates the same neural pathways as actually doing the thing. Watching first is not passive. It is the brain rehearsing, and that rehearsal dramatically reduces the number of attempts needed to reach competence. Before you try to learn anything new, spend time watching someone who already does it well. Watch a full tutorial before attempting. Read through an entire process before starting. Observe the whole picture first. Your brain is already learning during that observation phase, even though it feels like you are not doing anything yet. The crow never skips this step. Neither should you. Principle 2. Practice in short, deliberate bursts. Crows do not practice for hours. They make an attempt, assess what happened, adjust, and try again. Each attempt is short, focused, and followed by a pause where the crow processes what it just experienced. This cycle of attempt, assess, and adjust is how they move from not knowing to knowing with remarkable speed. They never grind endlessly. They practice deliberately, and then they stop. Cognitive science has consistently found that short-focused practice sessions separated by rest produce faster and deeper learning than long, continuous ones. During the rest between sessions, the brain consolidates what it just encountered, moving it from short-term processing into long-term retention. Cutting out rest does not speed up learning. It actively prevents the consolidation that makes learning permanent. The pause is not wasted time. It is where the learning gets stored. Replace your long, unfocused study sessions with short, sharp ones. 25 minutes of complete attention followed by a genuine 5-minute break where you do nothing related to the material. No reviewing, no rereading, just stop. Then go again. You will retain more from 3 focused sessions with breaks than from 3 hours of continuous studying. The crow figured this out through pure instinct. You now have the science to back it up. Principle 3. Connect new information to what you already know. Crows are remarkable at transferring learning. When they master something in one context, they immediately begin applying the underlying principle to completely new situations. The crow that learned to use traffic lights did not just use that one intersection. It applied the principle of using human systems to its advantage across multiple new scenarios. It connected the new learning to existing knowledge and extended it outward. That transfer is what makes crow learning so fast and so durable. Research into human memory has found that new information is retained dramatically better when it is connected to something already stored in long-term memory. The brain does not file new information in empty space. It anchors it to existing knowledge. The stronger and more deliberate that anchor, the faster the new information sticks, and the easier it is to recall and apply later. Isolated facts with no connection to existing knowledge fade quickly. Connected knowledge compounds. After every learning session, ask yourself one question. Where does this connect to something I already know? Find the link. Make it explicit. Write it down if you need to. The stronger you make that connection between the new and the familiar, the faster and more permanently the new information will stick. This one habit alone will dramatically change how much you retain from everything you read, watch, and study. Principle 4. Teach what you learn immediately. Crows teach. This is one of the most extraordinary things about them. When a crow figures something out, it does not keep that knowledge to itself. It demonstrates the behavior to other crows. And the act of demonstrating, of showing another crow what it has learned, reinforces and deepens the original learning in the teacher as much as it benefits the student. Teaching is not separate from learning for crows. It is the final and most powerful stage of it. Studies into human learning have consistently found that people who teach or explain new material to others retain that material significantly better than people who only study it for themselves. Teaching forces the brain to organize, clarify, and articulate what it knows. That process exposes gaps the learner did not know existed and fills them in. It also creates multiple memory pathways to the same information, making it easier to recall later under pressure. After learning anything new, find someone to explain it to. A friend, a colleague, anyone who will listen. If nobody is available, write it out as if you are explaining it to someone who knows nothing about it. That act of teaching, even in writing, will reveal exactly what you understood clearly and exactly what you only thought you understood. And the things you can explain simply are the things you have actually learned. Everything else is still just information passing through. 4 principles straight from Crow Intelligence. Observe before you act, because the watching is already learning. Practice in short, deliberate bursts with real rest in between, because that is where the brain does its filing. Connect everything new to something you already know, because anchored knowledge sticks permanently. And teach what you learn immediately, because teaching is the most powerful form of retention that exists. The crow does not learn faster because it is smarter. It learns faster because of how it learns. And now, so will you. Subscribe to The Wild Principle. New principles from the natural world every single week. And we are just getting started.